Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats and hamsters and fish if they're in the room, I hope you guys are so ready to get started. This place is probably looking a little bit different. Got another platform and whatever this thing is in the background. I am so ready. Let's get it started. Woo! Woo!
But if you close your eyes,
now I know this thing is super intriguing and we all want to know what's going on with it, but I promise we will be back to this, and this will probably be the most important part of the episode today. But for starters, we need to catch you guys up on a few different things. So, first step, I added a name, home plate, since that's where we are currently living. I did add the red stitching with the white letters. I think it's awesome. I really like the style of it. I did also add it on this, which is our brand new thing, which is called the Catch Me Up chest. So, when I'm off camera, I do some things, sort of like this. You know, I built this to start us off, and we don't know what this platform's for yet. I also built this guy up here, and we don't know what this guy's for either. So, what I did is, I did a Catch Me Up chest, and this will show you everything I used in between, so I can catch you guys up real quick, so you don't miss anything, but you also don't have to stand and watch me play, through very basic things for hours on end, because to get this much wood, get the clay, and the grass, and the oak wood leaves, and the saplings, and all this stuff, really long time. I mean, I'd say maybe an hour, which would be a full episode, but I'm just going to show you guys real quick. So over here you can see I have a wooden crucible, and this is how I got water. Water is what we use to get up here, and this is also going to be what we use for this whole project, which this will be explained in a short amount of time. So, in order to make a crucible, let's go ahead and look it up real quick. Crucible. So an oak wood crucible is good for making water. We will dive into the unfired crucible and the fired crucible later on, I would say within the next episode, but for right now, we're just working with this one. So to make this, it's very similar to the barrel. All I did is oak wood with a half slab in the middle. Very simple, very easy, and what you do is you can add leaves into this, or saplings, and it will create water. Very useful. We need water. We can wait for rain, and rain will fill up these, and also fill up barrels. But I got sick of waiting, so I just created water myself, which is also the reason we don't need to spawn it in if we're in a desert, because we can create it. Next step. I got this from getting clay. And to get clay, let's go ahead and look that up real quick. Very simple, very easy. As well, you get clay from either for clay, of course, or you can put dust inside of a barrel, and it can be wooden, it can be stone, any kind of barrel. If you put dust in it, you will get clay. Now, to get dust, you need to hammer down sand. To get sand, you need to hammer down gravel. To get gravel, you need to hammer down cobblestone. To get cobblestone, as you guys saw earlier, we need to sieve dirt in this to get stone. You know, those little stone pebbles. I think I have one in here. These guys, stone pebbles. Combine those into 4, make cobblestone. Cobblestone smashed into gravel. Gravel smashed into sand. Sand smashed into dust. Dust put into water to make clay. Clay to make a water clay bucket. So just to make any clay bucket, you need to fire this. Now to make this, you need just 3 clay. Just like a regular bucket of iron. The only difference is this guy, so I can use as many times as I want for water, as you can see there. However, I do only get one use of it with lava, and that's for everything. For recipes with lava buckets, for cooking with lava buckets, for placing lava, anything I do with lava with one of these, it will get destroyed. So, something to keep in mind, we are going to need iron soon. This is not a bypass in any way of the iron, because we don't really need to move water that much. Very important that we are able to move lava a lot, though, which will make sense later in the future. So, next step, shears to get the leaves to put in the crucible. Shears are very easy, and I can make iron shears. I just don't have any iron right now. So let's go ahead and catch us up on this one real quick. Wooden shears are created with a sapling, planks, and a stick. Very simple, and that allows us to get stuff. Alright, so I'm going to throw all this stuff back in here. Just like so. We also need to catch up on the book. Somebody did remind me. I forgot, just like I thought I would. So we're going to catch up on the book real quick. I did fill it up a little bit before this episode, but there's some things I wanted to check off after we did the Catch Me Up chest. So as you can see, we've used a crook to get saplings and silkworms. We've twerked on trees. We've made dirt by composting saplings, infested leaf with silkworms. Used a crook, crafted a sieve. We've collected rainwater or melted saplings on a wooden crucible. We just did that. So I'm crossing that one off the list. Craft cobblestone from small stones. We talked about this. Yes, we've done it. Craft hammer. Yes, we did that all together. Sift gravel, sand, and dust. Yes. Make Tinker's construct tools. Now this I have not done. Make clay. We've gone over that. I have done this. Craft and cook a crucible. This will be one of our next steps. Alright. So, this book is pretty much done at this point, which means we are going to put it away for today. This brings us to our next part in today's episode, which is going to be finishing off this guy. Now, what is this guy going to be? This is going to be our mob spawner. Very simple design, very easy to use, and I'm going to explain it all as we go. I need to collect the clay bucket real quick. We now have 2 water sources, which means we are able to make an infinite water source. Vanilla players know this. If you don't know it, then we are going to figure it out all together. It's a very simple design. Basically, if you have 2 water sources running into each other with an empty block in the middle, it will create another water source. Therefore, you can take that middle block out and constantly refill your water bucket, and it will never run out. Infinite water source, very simple. However, we need to work on the platforms for right now, which means we have to find out how far water goes. Now, of course, I do know this because I have made many of these. So we have to go out 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll do 2, just because we're going to have a platform on each side. Now, I'm going to do this for all 4 sides, and I'm going to bring you guys right back after it. Alright guys, just mowed down some apples. I'm also going to light all this up because we are playing in hard. I want to make sure we do not die or explode anything right off in the beginning of the series. That would be incredibly embarrassing. So, what I want to do, I want to keep this all, actually, I want to keep it all symmetrical. But I also want it to look pretty decent from the bottom. So, we're going to do that for each side. Now, what we're going to do is this is going to be too tall. So, basically how this is going to work, we're going to have channels of water running straight into here. And once we have channels of water running into here, they're going to fall 21 blocks, which will take them down to half a heart. Ooh, boom. Hit this. There won't be any water here because the water is going to stop right at the edge there. They're going to fall, hit, be damaged to half a heart, so we can just use our fist. We don't have to damage any swords. We don't have to use up any kind of tool. They will die, give us XP. Also, they'll drop loot bags, all kinds of cool stuff, bows, arrows, all the stuff regular mobs drop. Although we also have an extra bunch of mobs too. We have some, I don't know if they're mod creators or what they are, but they have some people, they have a bunch of different animals, a bunch of different monsters that they have added into here as well. So we want to collect everything they drop as well, because they drop some rare stuff. But in order for this to work, when they drop down to here, they need to not be able to jump up, which means this has to be too tall. Very easy, very simple. So we're just going to do too tall all the way around. And we're going to need a back on this guy as well. So we'll go ahead and wrap this all the way around right here. Just like so. So before we move on to other platforms and stuff, I will finish off this one with you guys, just so you can see sort of how it's going to be built. And then I'll finish off the other ones real quick, just so I'm not taking up your guys' time from the episode. I just want to get this finished, and it'll be a really simple build. I'll bring you guys back if anything else changes, but for now, it'll be fairly simple. So we're just going to finish this guy off. This will be a completely encased room. So it'll be completely black all day, all night. This will be the only place mobs can spawn in this entire world because we're in a void and everything I own will be lit up. So this is going to be the most efficient mob spawner. And I'm sure you can make much more efficient ones with pistons and stuff, which we will do in the nether. But with us being in the overworld right now and how often spawns are and all that kind of stuff, it'll be a very simple, very efficient build just to do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off these other 4 pads, and I will bring you guys back as soon as it's completed, and it will go awesome. Kablam! Alright guys, so I'm going to bring you back. I know I have hardly done anything. I've done maybe this wall. It's been about 30 seconds. However, I would like to tell you guys a little bit of a story. Tell you guys about me, so you sort of know, the background behind who I am and how I started doing videos and all that kind of stuff. When my interest spiked, all that. So, I would say my video editing started about 5 years ago. It was my first year of high school. And my high school I went to was part of the New Tech Network. Now, New Tech Network, for those of you who do not know what it is a school created by Bill Gates. He sort of was the idea behind it. He wanted to get it started. And what he did is he created a school that is technology based. We all got laptops. We all did all this stuff. We did real world applications. So where I live, we have a nuclear power plant. Not right here in town. It's a little bit, maybe an hour away or so, but it is probably the most important reason why people are living here, because otherwise nobody would live out in the middle of the desert where I'm living. It does bring a lot of jobs and all that kind of stuff, but when they would have problems, obviously they'd be paying people way more money than we could ever, ask for. They'd be paying $80,000, $160,000 a year for people to solve these problems that they would bring to us. But it was very cool because we would have the INL, a high sophisticated lab, come to our school and say, look, we've got this problem. So example, our engineering department had this problem. How would you fix it? And we would go into groups and we would solve this. We would make a diagram and present it to the INLs and tell them, hey, if I had this problem, I would solve it this way, show them a presentation, make a video or two. And that's sort of where I started. I dove right in. I never did PowerPoints. PowerPoints were something I was very interested in when I was homeschooled in 4th grade. I was homeschooled all the way up till I was in 4th grade, and I loved making PowerPoints. I liked making stop motion and all that kind of stuff with PowerPoints. Like, you can do frame by frame with it. I thought it was awesome. But the minute that I got a professional grade editing software, I just instantly fell in love. I was using Adobe Premiere, a very expensive program, something I could not afford in 9th grade at the age of 15 or 14, or I think I was 15, something I couldn't afford at 14 or 15. And it was just amazing to be able to use this professional grade, very in-depth video editing software, and I just freaked. I just made all kinds of videos. I'd make videos of kids who do, parkour at school, or we made a Rube Gold machine one day because we were bored. We just did all kinds of cool videos that everybody just, nobody really cared about them, but I loved it. I got lost in the editing. I got lost in the story or whatever I was working on. Every presentation I made just made me smile. And I would get good grades on them. Not because I was really good, but because my teachers could tell I was passionate about it. They knew I was really trying. I was really adding everything I could. When I was explaining how I implemented this algorithm in math to my video, or how I would create geometric shapes with a calculator that does graphing for you, and I made a video that had music and the graph would move and dance around. I mean, that was just the passion of my whole high school career. I mean, I did enjoy school. I love schooling. I love math and science and all that kind of stuff. However, I would say if it was not for me going to a school where I could talk to people and make videos and do all this stuff I really enjoyed while getting good grades in school, I would not have passed. I mean, I am not the kind of person that can just be put in a classroom and read a book the whole time. That's not who I am. I am very social. I love talking to people. I mean, I love the whole thing about high school. I love learning. I love expanding my brain. I love thinking to figure things out. But I also love talking and being in a room where you can't talk to anybody. It's like you're in solitary confinement. I mean, I just could not do that kind of schooling. And I mean, I do understand a lot of people that went to my school would drop out because they could not stay focused. It was a very college grade school. Basically, you could leave class whenever you wanted. You never had to turn in assignments. Your teachers, I mean, they cared about you, but they also understood that if you failed, it was on you. And you did not need, and they didn't need any excuse. I mean, they're like, look, if he doesn't want to learn, if he wants to take off, if he wants to do this, he can. We're not going to stop him. In college, they're not going to stop you. They're just going to let you leave. You never have to show up for class. If you show up for your exams and you pass college. Now, in order to do that, yes, it is extremely hard because college courses are not a cakewalk, you know? But it was very interesting to go to a school where they did educate as if you were in college. I mean, that was very interesting for me. And a lot of people struggled with it. They needed that person there saying, hey, do your work, stay focused. You got this, try harder, you know, and in my school, my teachers were awesome. If you went to them and you said, hey, I need help on this, I don't understand this, I don't understand how you got this answer, I mean, they would be completely open for it. But if you were that person who didn't pay attention in school, you didn't give two craps about what was going on, anything like that, they didn't stop you. They thought, you know, people are going to be who they're going to be, and that person will fit in somewhere. But it's not my job to make him fit in where he doesn't want to. And I completely understand that. And I think it was nice to be in a school where kids would struggle and they, you know, didn't want to be in class, they didn't want to work, and because they didn't have to, they just wanted to give up. And it was nice to be that person who's like, look, like this is way easier. You can go through this, you can make it. You know, I will be happy to spend hours upon hours to explain this to you. However you react to it. If you want it to be funny, if you just need the bare bones, this is how it works. If you need me to break it down and explain it from a third grade level on up, I would be more than happy to do that. And it was awesome that I was in a school where my teachers would let me take a trouble part or I mean, just a part that didn't want to be there. You know, the burnouts, the punks, the kids who just nobody really cared about. And I mean, it's not that nobody cared about them, but they didn't care. They didn't care about what happened. They knew nothing in high school mattered. And I do agree, you do not need high school to survive. I do think there are a lot of jobs that do not require a higher education. Now, am I saying drop out of school? Heck no. Because those jobs are not going to pay what you want to be paid. Not even close. I mean, not even close to what you want to be paid. You're worth way more than that. I guarantee every person on my channel is worth getting through high school or at least a GED, understanding what you know. I mean, you don't have to be book smart by any means. If you're smart enough and you don't need to go to class for it, I get that. I'm not going to judge and say, academics are really important. No, I mean, they are, but to a point. They're not the most important thing in the world. I really think a lot of things that strive today are based off of school. However, I think most of the very successful people in this world we live in today not only dropped out of high school, some of them dropped out of college. I mean, Bill Gates, the guy who created my high school, dropped out of college. The guy who created Facebook, I do not think he's a genius. I do not think he is the god among people. I think he is an idiot, personally, and we will get into that way later. But I do think he did not need a higher education to become one of the most successful people in the world. And for people to tell other people you need a higher education in order to be successful is just idiotic. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I love school. I do. But I do not think every person needs to love school in order to succeed. However, we did get a little bit off topic there. Just know all you guys are important. Whatever you want to do in your life, life is going to work out. I mean, it really will. And this still has very little to do with what I was talking about to begin with. I hope me rambling didn't bore some of you, although I'm certain it did. But, yeah, I mean, it's just not that important, you know? However, so that's where my video editing sort of started, was in high school. And I branched out from there, doing all kinds of different things. And here I am today, 5 years later, and I have not made a video since my 11th grade in high school, you know? And it's just, this is something I still enjoy doing. I love it. It puts a smile on my face. I love talking and entertaining and just putting my opinion out there, and people being able to tell me, dude, you're full of crap, and me being like, yeah, I am, you know? I am no more right about any topic than anyone else is. I have no idea. I'm 21 years old. I have no idea what I'm doing in life. I mean, granted, I do have a good paying job that I did work towards and go through college for, but I mean, that doesn't mean I know what I'm doing in life. So that brings us to our next topic. So somebody was asking me, what do you do for work? I mean, I as I stated earlier in my last video, no, I don't do this for work. I mean, I can't. I just started a YouTube channel after 2 years of never making a video. I do not have any followers. I'm starting off at the bare minimum. And I do have to say, my buddy Good 7 Bad 13 is my biggest supporter. I mean, he loves making videos. He doesn't do it for work either. He does it for fun. And he's like, dude, if you start making videos, I will 100% support you. I will get as many people watching as I can. And we'll do this together. I was like, you know what? All right. So him and me started making these videos, and that sort of branched off from there. But I know him from work. Now, where I work is a jerky packaging plant. And I do love it. I work in shipping, so I'm in charge of, right now, I'm in charge of basically assistant manager kind of things. I'm in charge of keeping contact with not only customers, but keeping contact with the people in the office who are making promises to customers, and then they're calling back saying, hey, why isn't this going out? All that kind of stuff. I am basically customer and employee relations for the shipping company. The shipping department, excuse me. Now, I didn't just start there. I mean, I'm 21. I didn't just walk into the place and get an assistant manager job. I started off just as, you know, jerky. I started shipping stuff out. Before long, I was hitting pretty good numbers and hitting really good inventory. Never missing anything, never mistaking. So my boss at the time was like, all right, we're going to move you up. So she put me in charge of the #1 seller in the company. That sort of got my name on the board. That's what really started getting people to recognize me. So people in the front office started, you know, hey, let's move him up, let's get him going. So they moved me into the assistant manager position. Now, about that time, my brother, who lives in Virginia at the time, he was coming up because he got a job up here as an IT. And he's like, Alex, do IT with me. I mean, come on, do IT with me. Just give it a try. Just see what it's like. And I sort of, I don't want to do IT. I don't care about IT. But I gave it a try. And as soon as I started it, it was very much like video editing. I mean, I was instantly hooked. Instantly was just enthused with it. I loved it. I started doing Security Plus, which is what I have my certification in. And with the Security Plus, I'm able to not only do disaster recovery and all that kind of stuff, but I am also able to do securing my own network, making sure hackers can't get in, and if they can get in, I try to find every avenue I can. That's the thing, if you're going into computers, I will tell you, you're not going to learn right away. You might learn right away, and if you do, you're awesome. You are awesome, because it is hard to learn right away. You will catch on very fast. The first thing you learn in IT is there's very little you will ever be able to do that some 12-year-old kid hasn't taught himself. That is the struggle behind being in IT. Just because IT is such a, not an easy thing to grasp, but for some it really is. It's very much like math or science or any other academic. Some people pick it up right away and just instantly dive in. They're able to know script. They're able to know, oh, this is how I get through here. This is this loop. I mean, they just know everything about it. Now, I am not that kind of person. I did catch on fairly fast just because I had a computer background from high school. But it did take me a while to get the security plus down, the scripting, the different, coding that you have to learn just to be able to do certain things with Windows. And then I dove into Linux, which is, if you read my description, that's actually what I'm using to create these videos. I had Minecraft running on Ubuntu before they had a Minecraft download for Linux. So that was a fun project. That's sort of what got me back into Minecraft, was being able to run it on Ubuntu. And it just started off as like a project. I was like, look, I know this is pretty much 100% Java, and I can run Java on my Ubuntu computer, which means I'm able to run Minecraft. And so it's sort of a thing for me and my brother to work on to get, I'm going to need some more wood. It's something for me and my brother to work on to get me motivated into, just a project of diving into Ubuntu and Linux. I actually started on CentOS. For those of you who know Linux, I started on CentOS, which is it's not the most unuser-friendly, but it is a little bit more of a struggle than Ubuntu. Ubuntu is like as close to Microsoft Windows or iOS, or, it's a very user-friendly. You don't have to download any kind of different things. Very, very simple to use. It's pretty much, you install it and it's ready to go. You're able to watch videos, you're able to do all kinds of stuff. There are some things that aren't preloaded on it, and you won't have all your Windows stuff that you're used to. However, you'll be able to get most of the tools you're used to right away. Very simply, very easily, Ubuntu has everything for you. Now, CentOS is very much like setting up a operating system from the bottom. You can't run YouTube videos, you can't run your phone. When you plug your phone in, you have to add everything in there. You have to run a script that tells your computer to check for a USB port, and when it recognizes the USB port, to run it this way for this phone and this way for this phone. It's very big of a pain. To set up a printer, I think it took me like maybe close to 4 hours to get my printer going on CentOS, and to get it running on my brother's. He was running Kali, which is even harder than CentOS, but he's a little bit more advanced than I am. But it took us forever to get just a printer going, just because you have to add all kinds of stuff, like, just go into the terminal, which is basically the notepad, or I can't remember what they call it for Windows. It's I don't know, but it's called a terminal on here, which is basically where you script into your computer and you use the language to talk to it and tell it, hey, do this for me, install this, download this, uninstall this, all that kind of stuff. So we use the terminal. Now in Ubuntu, it was fairly simple to get Minecraft going. You just had to download a couple things that Minecraft requires, which is a few different Java runtimes and stuff like that. It was very simple to get it going. And a couple months after I had installed it myself, they came out with the Linux update. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then it was available on Linux, very simple, very easy to get. And I was still happy because I knew I did it a different way. I knew I did it my own. I think I need 64 of these if I remember correctly. But anyway, so it was really cool that my brother sort of got me into IT, because I was just getting recognized at work, I was getting proud of myself, and my brother's like, dive into this with me. So I did it. I dove in. Him and me just sort of hit it off. We just started going as hard as we could, learning everything we can, trying to get our certification, and as soon as we got our certification, there was a job opening for IT at my work, and I just dropped. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Everything's dropping in perfect timing. Like it was meant to be. I mean, the fact that my brother came down from Virginia, he's like, hey man, this'll get you a job. Let's try it. And I said, all right, I enjoyed it. I loved it. Then a job opening happens at my work. And I just, oh my gosh. I mean, I applied. I did everything I could. I updated my resume. I put everything I've done ever on Ubuntu or on Linux. I worked with Fedora. Worked with Fedora. Worked with Kali Linux a little bit. I didn't actually put that on my resume because if somebody gave me a Kali system, I could not run anything on it. It is just impossible to use. I mean, just to get the internet working on that thing is impossible. And some people are very, very good at it. And kudos to you. If you are a master of Linux, put a comment down below and we will recognize you. Maybe I will name this mob spawner after you. You'll have a sign here to enable you in the cyber, in the internet forever. Just to say, I'm a beast at Linux. Because that is impressive to me. I love Linux, and it's still a struggle for me. Anyway, so the job opened up. I applied. It was for a networking position, which is not my strong suit. Obviously, like I said earlier, I do security. Security, disaster recovery, all that kind of stuff is sort of what my certification was aimed towards. So I did not get the position. However, it got me my foot in the door. I got to talk with the ITs. The IT guys I work with at work are just absolutely awesome. I mean, they are the funniest guys. They're super easy to talk to, super cool. They never make you feel dumb if you have a question that's probably a dumb one. Like if I'm confused about something, they're never like, really? You know? So they're really cool guys. I like them. They're cool. My interview, basically, they came right out and were like, hey, you are very underqualified for this position. However, we're still going to talk with you. They're like, we're going to give you a chance. We're going to let you talk. We're just going to, have a good time with you. Just talk. And so we all talked. We had a good time. I talked nerdy with them. It was like the first time at work I was able to talk about nerdy IT, Linux, networking, all that kind of nerdy stuff with somebody and be, and them not look at me like I'm crazy. So that was an awesome experience. Ooh, the rain's going. So I'm hoping it sounds like they're having an IT position for a help desk opening up. I'm crossing my fingers for that. Everybody cross your fingers too, because that would just be amazing for me and my family, for me to get a networking position. Or not networking, I'm sorry, a help desk position. That's sort of where you start off. That's like stage 1 in the IT world. So I'd be starting off right where I should, which would be awesome. Oh, all right. So let's go ahead and close this guy up. Alright, so after that rant, that probably made no sense, let's go ahead and see how this guy's running. Any mobs yet? Any mobs? Oh! I heard it! Look at that, one-hit kill. Oh, this is awesome. Alright, so this thing's just going to start pouring mobs any second. I don't know. I'm going to turn this down. I know it was fine in the last episode, but the rain is a little bit bothersome. Alright, so that brings us to our next part of the episode. Thank you for listening to my rants up here. That was awesome of you guys. If you have any stories, or you guys are going to school for something, or anything that you guys have that's in correlation to the story I just told you guys, or, me going to school, if you guys like making videos, just let me know. Because I'd love to hear your guys' stories and sort of what's going on. Alright, so our next order of business is going to be making a mega chest. Now, a colossal chest. Now, colossal chest is very easy to make. Basically, all you need is a bunch of wood, and that's it. Now, what a colossal chest does is it basically amplifies a regular chest. So you got your regular chest that's, like 2 inventories big. It's like 2 times this. It's useful, but I'm sorry. With the items we're going to be getting out of our mob spawner and everything like that, we need a better sorting system. And because I do not have Ender IO items going currently, we are going to start doing Collosal chest. That's going to be our starter for the level, for the series. Is going to be a Collosal chest. Now, I did mention Ender IO. So we are going to be using Ender IO for transportation pipes, electricity, all that kind of stuff. I know there are much easier, cheaper, user-friendlier items that I can be using to transfer items. However, I would like to use Ender IO just because they are a little bit harder to get to, and I would love the pleasure, like I said earlier. I would love the idea of knowing that I did it the harder way than just taking the easy way out. Ender IO is amazing. It's an awesome mod pack. Thank you so much to the mod makers who made that. It is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Alright, so what I just made were Collosal chest walls. So what we need to do is we need to have an odd. So I made a 5x5. The reason I had an L off is because obviously home plate is by 2x2, and I did not want to have the chest on one side or the other. So I made this little path that comes to a 5x5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our platform's done. Now we're going to start making the walls. And we got to make these 5 as well, counting that. So that one's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to do this for all of them. And I will go ahead and bring it back when all the walls are done. So I just had to get a little bit more wood, which reminded me that I did make this square. So it is perfectly symmetrical. Ooh, give me chills. I'm so glad we got that done. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish off this chest for the most part. So I got my 5x5. The last thing I need to do is finish off the roof. Whoops. That was my mistake. We'll go ahead and take this guy back out. Alright, now, this doesn't just work. I can't just do that and it work. Sadly. What we do need to do is make a Collosal chest core. So to finish this guy off, we need some iron and one of these, a Collosal chest wall. Now to get iron, what we have to do is we have to sieve dirt into cobblestone like we did in the last episode. However, what we also need to do is turn that cobblestone into gravel, which I didn't do with you guys, which is why I'm doing it now. Now, what we do is we just use a hammer on this, just like we do the wood. Doesn't matter how I place it down, anything will work. These monsters are getting a little bit loud. I might have to go kill them. So now if I see this, I should get something out of it. Whoops. I should get iron or copper or gold or all those different ores I can get. So I got 4 iron, which is exactly what I need. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and throw this in the furnace for me. Oops, need the coal in there. Alright, while that's cooking up, I'm going to go myrtleize some people. Alright, that's good enough for now. Now, this will be automated in the future. We'll have spikes down below catching them so we can kill them all. Oh man, this is a cool build. We did so good on this, guys. I love it. But for now, we'll just use our fist to kill them. Ooh, we got a loot bag out of that. Let's see what we got. Please be a sword. Okay, some silicone, a birchwood, upgraded template. Alright, cool. Oh, wow, man, is our... see, look at this. Just from that one go, I've filled my chest. which means we are ready to get this chest going. So let's go ahead and throw this guy next to this guy, make ourselves a colossal chest core. Colossal chest core. I'm going to need that axe back. So since I filled this in, alright, so this doesn't have to be in any specific, I believe the colossal chest core could be down here, it could be over there, it could be on top, it could be anywhere you want. I like to put it here just because it makes it look like it's the buckle. Now, we open this, I mean, this just has an ungodly amount of storage. I mean, unbelievable amount. So we're actually good to just go ahead and toss all this stuff right in. I mean, look at this. This is going to take us... I don't think I will ever fill this. Now, I will move on from it. However, I will never, ever fill it. Maybe we should keep this book right in the top corner. What is this? Aluminum. We're going to keep this box, or this book right at the top corner so I can fill it out at the beginning of every episode. And if I do forget, at least I'll see it and hopefully jog my memory of the promise I made. Let's go ahead and finish this guy off. Alright, now I am sick of making dirt. I had to make quite a bit out of this dust stuff. So in the next episode, let's go ahead and aim at making cobblestone generator, which will be very simple. For this episode, I did get everything done. I mean, we got the mob spawner going. We got the colossal chest built. The next step is to build off and make a cobblestone generator and all of our machines. And, of course, we're going to start off doing chickens as well. So, we might make quite a bit of dirt just so we can get chickens going. And all of those, not just chickens, but every animal we can in the farm. And we will go ahead and get started on making some ender pearls and some ender IO stuff. Then we'll dive into machines. I am really excited for that. I think it's going to be way fun to dive into machines and get that stuff going. So, until next time, guys, if I don't see you at the back of my head, if I don't see you guys until next time, signing out from home plate. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
But if you close your eyes